Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथी.
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot.
देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi tauba में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singatoka, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम वहीं के लिए लंबा सा में रहता है, तो क्या बताइए हम मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है.
Mirchi FM, बहुत जुलूम जुलूम.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
In this bulletin, multiple injuries in early morning bus accident. LTA to come down hard on substandard buses, and Samambula family loses home in fire. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Once again, bus safety is in question after about 40 students were hurt in an early morning crash in Vanuatu. Edwin Nunn reports some of the injured were pulled from the wreckage of the Rewanga Buses Limited bus by residents and rushed to hospital. Several underwent emergency surgery, including one young child who doctors say will require extensive surgery.
This was the last person to be rescued after the accident, a teacher at a nearby school. What was supposed to be another normal day in Kalambu turned into a morning of horror. This bus, filled mostly with school children, lost control and crashed into a gully.
I was returning from work when I saw the bus rolling down the hill and it ended up here. At that time I heard my neighbors shouting, so I ran and tried to rescue the injured.
Inoke Kilioni was watching from his home as the bus plummeted down the hill and landed only a few meters from where he was sitting.
I come beside the bus and I carried one centralized school boy. His feet was big hit. The bones come out, everything inside.
About 5 or 6 children were injured with broken legs and hands, a few adults too. One of the victims had a skull exposed because the skin was peeled off.
By now, others arrived and quickly started pulling out injured children and adults. A typically peaceful morning in Kalambu was rocked this morning by the noise of the accident. But even before that, many of the residents say they heard passengers inside the bus yelling and screaming as it rolled down the hill and into this gully. A lot of these residents were the first to respond and help our passengers escape from the bus and rush them to hospital.
We had to pull one student from under the bus. A few others were trapped between the seats. With the help of the village rugby team, we pulled them out and rushed them to the hospital.
Police spokesperson Atunaisa Sokomuri says most of the students were injured and were either transferred to the Makoi Health Center or the CWM hospital. The people of Kalambu who use buses every day want companies servicing the area to provide safer buses. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
And late this afternoon, Director Traffic SSP Mahesh Mishra said a full investigation will be carried out into the accident. He says the bus has been impounded by the LTA. The driver and some of the passengers are admitted at the CWM hospital. Mishra says a majority of the injured were treated and sent home. He reiterated that it is the responsibility of bus operators and relevant authorities to ensure they provide safe public transport. The Land Transport Authority insists it will come down hard on bus companies operating substandard vehicles. The statement was made as parents and relatives of students flocked to the CWM hospital in Suva to see their loved ones who were injured in the bus accident at Vanuatu.
The faces tell all. Worried family members still reeling with shock of the news of the accident. While the injured were rushed to the hospital, Land Transport Authority investigators were at the scene inspecting the bus.
We want to do a site investigation before evidences that could be hanging on that bus could be spoiled or damaged during the process of trying to bring that bus back on the road.
Twin River was informed of the accident about half an hour after it happened.
We are extremely concerned with what happened this morning. Nobody wants to think about this kind of thing still happening. It is an incident. We are working with the police right now in investigating this case. We just want to see the report. It will only fall on the two areas, whether it's to do with the driver for some kind of negligence and a bad driving behavior or something wrong with the bus.
The LTA maintains it will severely deal with bus companies falling out of place and is prepared to ground fleets if necessary.
The warning is always there. We have an understanding with the bus operators. At this stage, our understanding is far much better than what we used to have.
Several attempts were made throughout today to get comments from the bus company involved. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Bus Operators Association says no bus operator wishes for such an event to happen on any of their trips, and when it happens, the operator in question will naturally come under scrutiny. President Virendra Kewal says the police and the LTA are investigating the accident, and until the investigations are completed, the association will not be able to comment further. An NFA investigation is underway into the cause of a fire which destroyed a home on Kikau Street in Samambula this morning. NFA Chief Executive John O'Connor is reminding the public that fires are a greater risk during the dry season. Vosita Kote Wasawasa reports.
The NFA deployed 3 teams of firefighters, 2 from Suva and 1 from Valelevu, in their effort to extinguish the fire, but the house was fully engulfed in flames when the firefighters arrived.
Initially, the initial attack was quite good in terms of the thing, but the pressure in the hydrant was quite low. So the output of the water, because we were using so much water, the input, the pressure to fill in the trucks was quite did not match. So we had to go and fill from the main hydrant on the road to keep the firefighting going.
O'Connor says the investigation is at an early stage. While the owners of the destroyed home refuse to speak to the press, neighbors say there has been a dispute over the house, which even ended up in court.
Yeah, that's what we have also heard from the people who were at the scene when we arrived. But we have had to conduct our investigation, so we can only confirm the cause and the origin of the fire once we conducted our investigation.
Firefighters had to battle strong winds as they tried to put out the fire.
Fighting was quite a challenge because of the strong winds and because the house was a wooden floor house and the fire spread quite quickly.
One eyewitness says he was outside his office across the road from the house when he noticed the smoke.
Actually, I was talking over the phone outside my church office when I noticed fire in this building, the flames coming out from on the side of the house. And then I ran inside my office to call the fire people, upon which I was told that the fire people are already coming. And then within minutes I saw the flames engulfing the whole house, because I believe this house is quite old. And
the wooden building, which was burned to the ground, had 3 bedrooms and 2 adjacent flats at the back. The NFA investigation is continuing. Vasita Kote Wasawasa, FBC News.
The proposed Fiji First has 6 days to respond to objections against its application to register as a political party. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem confirms there have been 6 objections which have been forwarded to proposed Fiji First officials to respond to. The objections were forwarded to the proposed office bearers yesterday. Any further decisions by the Elections Office will depend on the responses from the proposed Fiji First. Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono will visit Fiji next month. He will be the chief guest at the Second Pacific Islands Development Forum Summit in Nadi from June 18th to the 20th. Prime Minister and PIDF Chair Vorengem Bainimarama invited President Yudhoyono to the summit, which will focus on green growth in the Pacific. Bainimarama says Yudhoyono's attendance at the event signals the growing importance of the Pacific Islands Development Forum in the region. Yangara Pastoral Company Limited has paid dividend of over $3.3 million to the government. The dividend represents the company's net profit after tax for 2011 and 2012. Company Board Director Simon Cole presented the first installment of the dividend to the Attorney General and Minister for Public Enterprise, Ayaz Said Qayyum, today.
And this is
come about because our gross income has gone up to over $1 million now, and I think more importantly, this money is not just from the revenue we receive from Fiji Water, but also the trading profit of the farm activities itself are now showing profits and have done for a number of years and will continue to do so, we hope.
The second payment of over $1 million will be made in July. Still to come on FBC News, inmates display handiwork and produce in roadside sale.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We like Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Sabah.
Lotto kasi di love Today's Kid Music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Bulan 2 saya Tolu FM, enapan 2 raki-raki.
Bula FM nampan 2 Inosor.
Go etapo ke boto kola sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM nampan 2 Korbu.
Bula FM nampan 2 Sawa.
Bula FM nampan 2 Lotoka. Bula.
Nampan 2 nam Bula FM memba.
Bula FM
nampan 2 NSR in Singapore.
Lo talitak na warong ng Bula FM Lotoka.
Ali akar warong Bula FM nampan 2 NSR.
Bula FM nampan 2 NSR.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Electoral Commission this afternoon held a briefing with Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem. Commission Chair Chen Ban-Yang says they're progressing on many fronts in the lead up to polling day on September 17th.
Is obviously important to all of us, especially as the Electoral Commission, is the timetables that we need to meet. So today's meeting with the Supervisor of Election and his team was to hear all the programs that they put into place, and we were given an update of the things they are doing and have done and that they will still have to do, and obviously foremost in that is the training of individuals for the responsibility of overseeing the polling on September 17th.
The structure of the Vanua needs to be strengthened in order to move Fijians forward, especially in terms of development. This is one of the key issues being highlighted at the two-day Ba Provincial Council meeting underway in Vunta. Akusita Tale has more.
More than 60 chiefs and district representatives gathered in Vunda today were reminded the only way to move ahead and bring positive changes is to know and understand their roles and responsibilities.
For the Matangalis, for the Tokotokas, for the Avusas, and for the Vanuatu to go back and revisit what their elders had done, to strengthen their relationship, to strengthen their families.
When chiefs play their part, it will motivate its people to make a change in the way they live, their behavior, and the list goes on.
Fulfillment of all the chiefly titles in the province, and in fulfilling all these or in filling these traditional titles or these chiefly titles, it means that we have a well-working structure in the Vanua.
Having the right structure of the Vanua also mean young people will understand the roles they need to play in order to develop the province.
The main issues for the Ba Provincial Youth Council is the unemployment rates is going higher in the province, and we are looking into that in developing our young people, looking for some solutions, a lot of solutions to solve the problem of unemployment rates in the Ba province.
Other topics to be discussed are education, road development, as well as sugar and the tourism industries. The meeting ends tomorrow. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Representatives from various organizations met in Suva today to discuss ways to encourage people to reduce their intake of sugar-sweetened drinks. Diabetes Fiji Chair Dr. Wahid Khan says many Fijians are already suffering from the impact of sugary drinks, and the number of diabetic patients are quite high in the country. Shireen Lata reports.
The consumption of sugar-sweetened drinks is quite high among the young people in Fiji.
The OPIC study that was done a number of years ago here in Fiji in adolescents found that most of the teenagers were consuming at least a couple of serves of sugary drinks a day, so a little bit is okay.
There has been an increase in the number of diabetes cases, with an average of 1 amputation done every 12 hours.
It's increasing in all sectors. Type 1 diabetes in infants, people who have lack insulin is increasing. Type 2 diabetes is happening in children as young as 9 or 10 even, which is a lifestyle thing. And if you have a genetic preponderance to diabetes, together with lifestyle changes, you are dead meat.
The Consumer Council of Fiji is looking at the marketing tactics of companies in selling sugar-sweetened beverages. Chief Executive Premila Kumar says children are vulnerable and easily influenced by such marketing tactics, and parents are urged to be more responsible.
The bigger concern is when we look at the lunch that parents normally give to the children. That's one area that needs to be reconsidered by the parents. They need to pack healthy lunch, and when it comes to choosing a drink, again, it should be a drink not laden with lots of sugar.
East Dev has been a diabetic patient for 7 years, and he has a message for everyone.
I have been suffering from diabetes since 2007, and I would like to request everyone to take care of their health, because suffering from such disease is very challenging.
The participants in the workshop made a pledge today to educate people in their organizations and communities on the impact of sugary drinks. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Motorists on the Queen's Road at Walu Bay were greeted by an unexpected display outside the Fiji Corrections facility today. Savara Tambor filed this report.
Display and for sale were produce grown by inmates as well as items that they crafted.
To help them when they're going out, support their family, and especially on some small business they want to utilize on the skills that they learn from inside.
The products drew the attention of many as they were attractive and affordable.
So I was at the Fiji Corrections little market today, and I was definitely interested in getting the inmates to perhaps make uniforms for us.
Skills like vegetable and poultry farming and manufacturing, which are part of the rehabilitation programs at the corrections facility, have paid off for some inmates.
We've seen that a lot of people are not coming back inside, and there are also people that are successful out there with the things that they learn from inside and the successful of rehabilitation.
The Correction Service has also planned to establish a market, a bakery and a fast food takeaway at the site. Sabaira Tambua, FBC News.
In a story we aired yesterday, we had mentioned that the Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama directed that over $500,000 in unpaid water bills on the island of Rotuma be waived. In fact, the waiver was implemented by Water Authority of Fiji in 2013 as part of the nationwide rebate, as more than $30 million in delinquent water bills were waived across all of Fiji. $600,000 in unpaid bills in Rotuma were waived, along with more than $13 million across the rest of the country. That time again, and Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. After the break, Flying Fijians go through its first training run today, and Fiji Under-19 football side one game away from qualifying for FIFA World Cup. Details after the break.
It's always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Lusot.
Gold FM is Nandi's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singapore.
Old is gold, and Gold FM is #1 here in Lautoka.
Singatoka loves classic hits on Gold FM.
Listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Ba.
We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki Raki.
Lautoka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bato Bahe, Bame Radio Fiji 2 के कौन सा के रोके ऑनलाइन क्लियर
रेडियो Fiji 2 रकी के लोग ज्यादा सुनते हैं।
नैनी में हम सबकी पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2।
तालेबू के लोग रेडियो Fiji 2 सबसे ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं।
मेरी पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2, मसूरी में सभी को पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2।
टावा में रेडियो Fiji 2 सभी कोई सुनते हैं।
रेडियो Fiji 2 रॉक।
रेडियो Fiji 2 I love you।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो Fiji 2।
Welcome back. Close to half of the Vodafone Flying Fijians 30-man squad went through their first training session with coach John McKee today at Buckers Park in Suva. Flying Fijians captain Akapu Singera was amongst some of the big guns, and Elena McDonald reports coach McKee hopes to have his full squad together by Monday.
First in camp are the likes of overseas-based reps Metuisela Talimbula, Kampizi Maafu, Api Naikatini and Jim Nangusa.
Well, there's players arriving each day this week, and I think there's 5 coming in tomorrow, and then there's a couple more on Thursday and a couple more on Friday. So I expect everyone, barring the Glasgow boys who play on the weekend and the Super Rugby boys who are playing this weekend, to be in.
Earlier doubts on the availability of Chiefs winger Aseeli Tikorotuma have been cleared up.
We've been talking to the New Zealand Rugby Union about that, and we received a letter from the New Zealand Rugby Union yesterday confirming that the players would be available for that game.
Day one of training was something McKee would introduce his side to his style of play.
I think today we're just introducing a few areas that may be a little bit new for the boys. We're certainly working on some different techniques around the ruck area and the contact area. See that as very, very important for us to win quick ball, to be able to play the game we want to play.
The challenge now for McKee and his men is to get themselves ready within the week for Italy. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
After thumping Papua New Guinea 3-0 in the OFC Championships yesterday, the Vodafone Fiji Under-19 football side is one game away from qualifying for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The Ravinesh Kumar coach side have set themselves up for a must-win clash against unbeaten Vanuatu tomorrow to qualify for the world event in New Zealand next year. Chalen Tadakadaka has more.
Nikhil comes up to give more support. Lovely play by Nikhil Chan.
The Fiji Under-20 side stepped up another notch as it piled on the points against Papua New Guinea. Altaf Sahib was first on the score sheet with 2 more goals coming from Mataesi Toma and Solo Wanga to seal the win. The focus now shifts to the all-important clash against Vanuatu tomorrow.
I would say our next game is against Vanuatu, and we are concentrating now on Vanuatu. Forget about all the 3 games which we have done and only concentrate on Vanuatu. That's it.
Kumar's counterpart was gracious in defeat and acknowledged the attacking prowess of the host side.
We did well till the 44th minute. We were right in it, and just a little bit of sleeping over there on the left side. To be fair, the Fijian left back is for me, one of the best players in the tournament so far. Whips in that fantastic cross, but our boys, if they'd have been able to avoid that, we'd have still been in the game, gone in at half-time 0-0.
The game against Vanuatu will be a do-or-die match for Fiji. It will determine whether these young group of players will enter the history books as the first ever Fijian side to qualify for a FIFA World Cup event. Talento Zakadak, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, heading into tomorrow's clash, Vanuatu remains in great form and looks to be Fiji's strongest challenger for the OFC Under-19 Championship title. The side had dumped Minnows American Samoa by 4 unanswered goals to keep a clean record after 3 games. Vanuatu will be looking to step up its offensive strategy before the crucial match against Fiji.
Yeah, quite pleased with the performance. Happy with the way we played, but we still got a bit of work to do in the front third. Again, our decision making in the front third was poor at times, but generally happy with the boys and happy with the result.
The Fiji Pearls netball side will be out to retain its Pacific Netball Series title in the Cook Islands next week. Captain Matila Wanganindrola and her players went through a final training run in Suva this afternoon, but not before receiving some much-needed funds for tournament expenses. Team sponsor, the Pearl South Pacific Resort, donated $15,000 as well as playing accessories.
It's a great boost for the Pearls, especially given that going to such tournaments are not cheap. We are extremely grateful to the Pearl South Pacific Resort for their donation in cash and kind today. It's in addition to all the donation that they've given over the year since last year, and we are just grateful to them. Given that since they've come on, that they've supported us whenever we've needed funding or other support for that matter.
The side earlier received $85,000 from the government for the trip to the Cook Islands. Bowling action in Nandi paid off for some ladies at the Sunny West Bowling Carnival. Ladies Cheryl Ma and Doreen O'Connor remain unbeaten with 3 straight wins. Samuela Tui and Sandra Taylor from New Zealand have won 2 out of 2 so far and would be strong contenders for the title, while Fiji rep Arun Kumar and former Fiji rep Curtis Ma managed to win a close encounter with overseas players Herb Haynes and Bill Taylor. Section finals will be played tomorrow. And that was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The RB Patel Group has announced the closure of its Waimanu Road supermarket store with its last day of business today. Group Chairman Padam Lala says since the opening of the Market Point supermarket opposite the supermarket at Rodwell Road, a significant percentage of the business has moved away from the Waimanu Road store. Lala says the current sales level made it unprofitable and closing the store will improve the company's profits. The company will retain all the Waimanu Road employees by deploying them to its other stores. We had a beautiful day in Suva. Trish, how was it across the rest of the country?
Looking at today's map, Jackie, both Suva and Savu had mostly fine weather all day with reports of a few scattered showers. Nani Lotokamba and Lambasa all had fine weather all day. Temperatures today, we had Savu with 27, Suva on 28, whereas Nani, Latoka and Ba were on 29. Lambasa hit 31. There's still a high pressure system to the far south of Fiji, pushing a cool southeast wind flow over the group, which will have Ba, Singatoka and Tavua dropping to a very cool 16 overnight, whereas the other centers will range from 18 to 20. Tomorrow's forecast, Suva and Savu will have the usual chance of scattered showers in the morning and the afternoon. Meanwhile, Nani, Latoka and Lambasa will have fine weather all throughout the day. For mariners, a strong wind warning remains in force for all Fiji waters, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots and rough seas. And tonight's photo, a beautiful Suva sunset shot from the seawall by Frank Nativa. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Our headlines tonight: multiple injuries in early morning bus accident at Colombo outside Nasinu. LTA to come down hard on substandard buses following bus accident, and Samambula family loses home in fire. Now to this week's poll, we ask: can Fiji Under20 soccer create history by qualifying for the World Cup? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from us tonight. See you again tomorrow. Good evening.
Talita na Radio Fiji 1 na mwira ni nonda bonua.
Ando talita kana borro na Radio Fiji 1 singa toka boleta ni station ni Alomatu.
Ando talita kabale una borro na Radio Fiji 1 station ni Alomatu ilo toka.
Ando talita kabale una borro na Radio Fiji 1 na mandi na station ni Alomatu.
Au tulgo korbo ando borro mo leve na station ni Alomatu na Radio Fiji 1.
Ando borro na Radio Fiji 1 na station ni Alomatu na mandoi tele.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nando mo ibiti na bonga ni BNN.